So today is the 15th of August and we're in Pasco, Washington, where we had stayed for many years, and I thought I'd just give you a look at the Columbia River down here. And the cruise ship is in here, the American Jazz. But this is the river walk, the park. There's an amphitheater over here. A lot of things go on down here. Big playground park. It's a big place down here. But just kind of wanted to give you a view of the river from the Pasco side. So this is also known as the Tri-Cities of Washington State. And so there is Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. And they all three come together and join together. And so this is one of the big boating sides of Pasco that I thought I would just give you a view because it's such a beautiful day. Right now it's about 91 degrees. Yesterday was much higher. A little bit of swim beach over here for everybody. But just a really neat park. A great long walking trail along the river. So we'll keep on moving on our day's tour and give you a look at some of the other stuff as we go. There's usually a lot of vendors and stuff down here, but since it's a weekday, it's a Tuesday, there's not much of that going on down here at all. They got their neat flower beds are going great. They're doing really well. Let's see what they got here. Kayaks, plus tax and fees, or $25 rental. Paddleboards, $25. Tandems are $30. Rowboats are $30. But it's just a beautiful park. And so I'll wait for Rick to come back and grab me, and then we'll move on and give you some more stuff. There's not a whole lot here in Pasco, but got a water skier to go see. There's some breweries and some wineries, things like that, but that's about it. So anyway, that's a look at today's part of this park. So they got a Miss Tamale down here as well. So we're headed out. You can get some ice cream and stuff, but coming out of the park, then you come up here into some of the business district. There's gallery at the park. The Dugout is a sports bar. It's been here for ages. And there's some Thai food and some pubs at the park and just all kinds of little shops. Kind of a quaint place. We like it. It's quiet, laid back over here. The Kennewick side of all of this has more of the shopping malls and the other stores and stuff, but over here it's just kind of laid back. Got a lot of mom and pop stores in town, and there really isn't a downtown in this section of Pasco. It's in the older section, which is where the courthouse is, and things like that, police department, city hall, all that kind of stuff. That's the downtown. So we're going to go down here to a place called Lulu's Craft Brews and Bar. We're going to have some lunch with some of our good friends from that we met while we were over in Tacoma on the dock at Falls Harbor. They were our neighbor right next door to us on the dock. And Jim and Deb, and they're the ones that went down the coast with us. Excuse me, the West Coast. They currently have their boat in Panama up on the Hard for hurricane season, so then they come back and visit family and things like that. So we're gonna just go down here and give you a look at some of the stuff along the way. So we got the golf course, of course, you can see that. And we have a little shopping center with a grocery store in it here. There's a couple, three of them here. There's a Fairway, a Safeway, and grocery outlet. Is that what this one is? This isn't grocery.
Can't remember the name of it.
Can't remember the name of this one now. I don't go to it very often. But a couple of eating places in there like Applebee's and things like that. So there's a few chains here, but not many at all. There's a Pizza Hut here. Applebee's is here. You know, who else for a chain? That's it, right? The rest are all mom and pop stores. Can't think of any other chains. But we'll go down here and give you a look at Lulu's. Winco, not a grocery outlet. It's Winco. But there's a little bitty shopping mall here. A Dollar Tree and a Big Five and, you know, just some of that stuff. But this takes us down to the river as well. Oh, Anthony's is the other one that's, oh, I don't think she's in there, Trace City Dermatology. I don't think she's in there. Anyway, we had an old chiropractor that was in a building back there. We're just kind of looking at it. A lot of apartment complexes have gone up in the recent years. There's a couple marinas here. One here in Pasco, one in Kennewick. This is actually classified, I'm sorry, there's one here in Richland. This is classified Richland. We came out of Pasco, so didn't show you much of Pasco, so everything I said was for Richland, not Pasco, so I apologize. But you can see some of the big lodge hotels here, very upscale hotel here, the Lodge.
Anthony's.
And then we have Anthony's, so that's the other one. Here's Lulu's. Looks like they're going to be building some other stuff over here. Have to make sure you stop at the right entrance here. For Lulu's. Doesn't open until 11, so it should be open by now, but there's a boat launch over there. Look at that boat. See that boat sitting there?
All covered up with a cover on it.
Got a cover on it. So might just, we're waiting for our friends, so we'll see. But you can launch your boats from down here as well. And so when we get in, maybe we'll get a spot where we can see the river from lunch.
So in our back bedroom, we have this hatch gets to our engine compartment, and so we have this reinforced steel hatch that goes down first, and then it's followed by this 1/2-inch thick plywood hatch, carpeted, fits over the top of that. It seals it up so we don't get any fumes or anything in here. But I wanted to show you what we had done. If you look at this member right here, used to be, it's an 1.5-inch tube that went straight down and connected to a support structure on the chassis, and it rubbed on this airline that came from the intercooler from the turbo. The turbo is over here, and it would take air off of that, go through a cooler, come back out, and go into the throttle body. So once we got that repaired, once we got to Pasco, we had a welder come over, and he welded on a piece of 2-inch. Well, the 2-inch, a 1.5-inch would have fit in there just fine, but the 2-inch, actually, if you look right down here, there's another line that comes by here, and it was rubbing on that. So I got a piece of ABS pipe, cut it, sliced it and put it around that to help prevent any chafing on that pipe there. But it does no longer has any problem with the support frame for the intercooler hose. So that is all done. So I'll keep an eye on this and make sure that that doesn't get any chafing and worn through there. I'm not sure what that pipe is. It looks like it may go down to transmission. Maybe a transmission fluid cooler line or something. But anyway, we got that all taken care of while we were here in Pasco.
So we're taking a trip today. It's Thursday, the 17th?
17th.
Of August. And we're taking a trip down here to Hermiston, Oregon. But we're coming across the dam that they have here and their water away. So we left the camper and we're just taking a road trip.
McNary Dam is right there.
It's McNary Dam, but you can't see it now because of the bridge. Coming back over, we'd be able to see it. Maybe we'll get a spot. There it is, if you can see it somewhat there in the distance. Sorry, but we make a trip every now and then over here because in Oregon we don't have sales tax and all the taxes on some of the libations you buy. So we come down here and fill up and then head back over into Washington State. And so we're gonna just give you a look at that. There's nothing down here really. It's pretty desolate, to say the least. We'll be camping down here in a town called Boardman, and it borders the river over here on the this right side of what you're seeing right now. And then we'll do that for a couple nights, and then we'll head on into Idaho. But just wanted to give you a look coming across the bridge from Washington State into Oregon today. Okay, so we'll try to give you a shot of the dam over there. So that's the McNary Dam. Usually not many boats on this side of the dam. They're on the other side of the bridge, and they do their fishing and stuff down there. It's always a good spot to go fishing right by the dam because the fish are prolific down here.
It's a big sturgeon fishing area.
Sturgeon?
Yeah, they come in. A lot of people come down here and fish for sturgeon right there.
So we're here in Sacajawea Park, which is part of Pasco, and it's on the Columbia River and the Snake River. And Carl and Marcia are good friends from Tacoma that we met while we were on the boat there. They're still on their boat in Port Orchard. There's Marcia, and there's Carl. You've seen them in some other videos we've posted, but they've come to visit us. So we're down here to see what Sacajawea Park is all about. So it looks like they have a story center down here. And so a couple of bridges and some tables, stuff like that. So we'll just take a walk down here. We don't want to bother their story time. But there's a couple tour buses in here. So that tells me that they've got obviously some tourists that came in from somewhere. But today is a very smoky day. Air quality is poor, and we are suffering with it. So if it looks a little hazy, it's smoke. So it sounds like the park ranger is giving them the scoop of Sacajawea Park and the history, which is pretty awesome. But we're going to go out here. We used to take our pontoon years and years ago down here, excuse me, we'd come down the Columbia and make this left turn down here and come down and go up the Snake River.
Of all of us before we leave
Pretty calm.
tomorrow. Yeah, I love the sound of the water.
So our old boating grounds here. So we're inside the Sacajawea Museum, and I'll just video a little bit in here, and then we'll go from here, but just a little bit of the museum, just so you can see it. It's a smaller museum. It's pretty cool. I'll read some of this stuff later, but thought I'd get around here to some of the artifacts. Some of the pestles that the Indians used are just awesome. Look at these. This one is very, very coarse. This one's nice and soft. Interesting.
This is how they move a lot of grain up and down the Columbia and the Snake Rivers, all the way down from Lewiston, Clarkston on the Snake, through the locks on the dams, and they run this all the way down to Portland.
Walking down here by the boat ramp, there's a little bitty sailboat. Wind's picked up a little bit, as you can tell by the weeds here. So the tug that went by us, now we've come down the way he's came. We're gonna go down here and see if this guy can get launched.
No melt, and this river gets cold.
Okay, we're gonna see how well they do. They are still on the dock, but the wind is gonna not be in their favor to get off the dock with that sail up. So we'll see. All right, there we go. He's got his sail up. Now he's got it working the way he should. All he's got to do is figure out how to steer it by his sail. So he's learning. So we are now down in Kennewick, and this is where they have the seating for the big hydroplane boat races every year, which we have just now missed. But this is one of the main sites where everybody can come and sit in here to watch it. This gets full of tents and vendors and people. It's just a massive crowd. But we stopped not only to show you that, but also we have a Veterans Memorial over here. And we're gonna go to that. Carl is a veteran, so we thought we would stop for that. I'm gonna take you in here and let you enjoy the bridge. I mean the Veterans Memorial. Hey everybody, we just thought we'd give you a quick look since we are back in the Tri-Cities area here in Washington State. Earlier in these videos you saw some of the places around here, but we had been in this area before. We lived here in the Tri-Cities, and then we sold our home. Previous videos, if you go back and you look at some of the beginning videos, you'll see all that. But we sold our home and we'd had an RV, so we moved into our RV here on our good friend's property. And this is Scott and Zeny's property. It's a really good friends of ours. And so they have been kind enough for a couple, 3 weeks, actually about 6, for us to come back here and hang out while I have some medical appointments and things to get figured out. But I just thought I would give you a look at where we are. Thanks for putting up with us and all of our videos. If you have any comments, please do so down below. If you want to reply, make sure we can reply to you down below as well. And we'd love to hear from any of you on what you think of our videos. Again, we are in Washington State, and it is in August. So we're about 3/4 of the way through August, so things are starting to change for us. So stay tuned.